Yo, what's up? Made progress on the motor. Dropped the lower intake off to my local welder guy so he could fill in the holes on the intake so I can port match it. I think today we're gonna put the engine in the car. Let me show you what we've done so far though. This place is kind of a mess, as you can tell, but I'm gonna clean it up. The lease is coming over. I need to torque the flywheel nut, the big 54 behind here. I gotta take this off, but I gotta torque that to 300 foot-pounds. So I'm gonna also get that done and throw it in the car. I don't have much left to do on my to-do list. So that's gonna be done. And let me show you what I've done so far after stacking the block, because I didn't really film much of it because a lot of stuff was a pain in the butt. All right, so the first order of business, one of the bigger concerns was removing the pilot bearing out of the car. I pretty much had to use my Dremel. I used a carbide bit, just like this one here, to get it out. And then after that, got the pilot bearing out. It came out in multiple pieces. Wasn't fun. Was very stressful. I was almost scared I had to replace the E-shaft. Next time, if I were to do it again, I'll get the proper Mazda tool, but that's good. Put the front cover on and the whole stack. Check the end play. So that's all good. And obviously, like as I talk about this, I'll insert photos of some of the stuff I did. And then I routed the lines. So this is my turbo line setup, and I'll explain it. So this is a JDL manufacturing turbo flange for the 10AN fitting. So I have that with a 10AN line, and then a Treadstone flange for the EFR turbo. So that's my oil drain. And then my oil feed over here, I have a Mishimoto sandwich plate, which I use on the setup the whole time. And then I got to get a shorter oil feed line as it's a little too long. As you can see, it should end where the tape is here, and it's just too long. So I got to get a shorter one, but it's whatever. I could do that in the car usually. And then for my oil feed in return, my feed's pretty simple. I don't know if I talked about it, but I took the press fitting out of here when the irons were apart, and then tapped it for a 1/8 MPT. So I have a 1/8 MPT. Oh yeah, and I didn't drill it, by the way. I just pulled the press fitting out. Have a 1/8 MPT to 6AN male to male with a washer. And if you're curious about the washer I use, I actually just picked it up today. If I could find it. Over here. So I got it from Advanced Auto. It's a Dorman part number 66223, and it fit just perfectly for the 1/8 MPT end. So that's good. 6AN 90. Bam, goes to the feed on the turbo. So that's good to go. And then my return is a little tricky. How do I do this? So obviously I have it like that with a 90 over here. It like barely touches the intake and goes over here. And then just like what I did on the rear iron, I put the press fitting out of here, then tapped it for a 1/8 MPT. So now I have all AN water lines, and that's all good to go. And then I got the FFE inserts for the injectors. Why is my camera having a terrible time zooming? Got the FFE inserts, installed the primary injectors. These are ID 1050 injectors. So that's all good to go. And got the Racing Beat pulley on. Stock crank angle sensor is installed. It was pretty much calibrated at 0 degrees, so true top dead center. And then we have my alternator bracket. I still need to get my alternator and a couple of stuff, but I'll just do that in the car. Put in the oil pressure sensor and then the coolant temp to the gauge. Although we're not going to use that, we're actually going to have the link ECU give that signal so we can have a more accurate reading on the cluster. And then, yeah, we have our Racing Beat lightweight flywheel and ACT 6-puck clutch on here. So we're gonna handle this whole backside, and then we can put it in the car. And then I'll get my intake back hopefully tomorrow, and then I need to handle like the whole decking situation and all of that. So I can throw the intake in, and then once we have it in the car, we can build the harness, do the downpipe, and intake. And also, let me show you the car real quick, because I have a couple of those parts too. So, all right, it's good old Reliable. She's looking great. This is where she sits right now. Got the pop-ups down. So, all like the intercooler piping and stuff like that's actually in the car. So much crap on my car. It's actually ridiculous. All right. So this was a gift that was given, dude. Come on. Whatever, I'll handle that later. This was a gift that was given to me. It's a 3-inch downpipe that was on an FD. You're gonna modify it so it can fit the EFR. And then we have some 2.5-inch intercooler piping, so we'll just make it work. Geez, I need to actually do something about that. And then also, like, if you guys don't know, I switched to black interior, kind of. Some of it's spray painted. Oh, Jesus. And then I got a new seat. It's a Corbu FX series, whatever. Used energy side mounts and then OEM seat rails. So I kind of modified it. It's not 100% yet, but it sits pretty low. So if I get in my car, wide angle, sits pretty nice. I was testing helmets so to see how it fit. So when I'm on track. But yeah, interior is pretty tippy-toppy. I gotta get new AC vents. I gotta possibly replace this. I have a spare one of these here. And then I gotta get vents there and there. We still have heat. I'm actually considering putting AC back in this car. And there's a whole mess underneath there that I'm gonna clean once I start wiring the car. And then underneath the hood is another fun part. Underneath the hood, got my coil rod, got my Volvo power steering pump mounted. So if you guys want to see how I mounted that, pretty much made these 2 brackets over here, and then, oops, my bad. Made another one over here like this. So that's how it's mounted right now. Probably should make it stronger, but whatever. LRB D585 ignition coil bracket is installed. Looks good. Wire tuck is more tucked than ever. You really can't see any wires, so that's pretty rad. And I wish I painted the bay, but probably gonna clean up certain stuff before I put it in, but it's the state of that. I mean, she looks good. Like, literally looks so good. I'm like in love with this. So, yeah. Let's do things. Hell yeah.
Just check the last ones again.
Exciting stuff. Reminds me of some things.
Oh, I didn't really do it.
Hold up. Let me relive that. Came out smooth though. Damn. Storage unit. Alright. Engine is just about it's all like ready to go in the car. I just gotta throw the oil pan on. This is like all the stuff. I got the baffle, the bolts, black RTV, the gasket, bam, engine mounts with Himney, engine mounts, oil pan, like straightforward stuff. So I gotta get brake clean this stuff up, and then throw the pan on tomorrow maybe, or Wednesday, I don't know. Gotta do it like in a hoist or on the hoist, so. Alright, we in the temporary daily. Got my Nissan Rogue. And let's get the engine in this car. I'm gonna go get the community engine hoist from Jimbo's place. So that's like 20 minutes away. And we're gonna seal the oil pan, put everything up. Maybe I'll pick up the intake, see what I can do about that situation today. I doubt I'll be able to get it all matched up, port matched and stuff, but whatever. But yeah. All right, the glory. Engine's here. I need to bring a couple things outside so I can seal the oil pan and stuff. Got the engine hoist set up, which I'll show you. Engine hoist is all set up. Car is on jack stands. It's a good sight. Car's on jack stands. And I have a jack underneath the transmission so I could line it up. I'm gonna ignore this line here. I'm gonna pull the radiator off so I don't destroy it. And then this is my power steering low pressure line. Yeah, I'm gonna pull the radiator off, and then I'm gonna pull this high power steering power steering line, because I'm not even using that one anymore and I just don't want things in the way. And then I'm also gonna get like a rolling cart so I can move the motor out because I'm just by myself. So I'm gonna go to Walmart real quick. And yeah. All right, got it on there. My brother helped me lift it because I couldn't do it myself. Get a second person so you don't blow your back out. If you can do it, props to you. But gonna roll it into the garage, put that stuff on. All right, I know this looks like super ghetto with the way I have this, but so I can service it, clean the surfaces, and then put the wheel pan in. So I'm gonna get brake clean, start cleaning stuff, get this going, and yeah. That was actually a pain in the butt because you have to put the pickup tube on first. Or no, yeah, the pickup tube on first, and then you gotta lay the baffle, and then put the sandwich in all together, and it's tough doing it by yourself. Got the engine mounts on, and that's everything for the motor to go in the car. Now I gotta do the throw out bearing, which is over here. So gotta do that, then clean up some of the shit in the trans, and then throw it in the car. All right, so sunny. Today was a flop. Couldn't get the engine in. I'm actually going to work right now. Main reason why I couldn't get the engine in was the hoist was like too short, or the arm for the hoist was like too short. So I had to like drill it, I had to modify it, whatever. I did one side, but I had to go to work. But it's whatever. It's gonna be like too dark by the time I get home, so I'm not even gonna bother when I get back home. But yeah. That Nissan road power. All right. Finally, the motor's sitting. Excited about that. I'll give you guys my technique. First, we got these two bell housing bolts in, right? There's still gonna be a gap at the bottom. There's still gonna be a gap on the other end. So what I did was, in order to get it to fully seat, I took the starter. There's no starter in here yet, but I took the starter bolt and nut, and I started tightening this, and this started closing this gap. So then that bell housing bolt by the oil pressure sensor, I was able to put in, and then I was able to put the one by the starter in, and then lastly I put this one in, and then got the engine mounts to line up, which was a pain, but did it. And now I also took out the transmission cross member bolts so I could kind of lean it, but that's good. pretty excited. Now I'm just like trying to like tidy up things, see things visually, like this FD downpipe. Oh. If you look at it, it fits like perfect. You know what I mean? And then, let's see. Pretty rad. So not much modification is going to be needed for this. So that's good. And yeah, I'm going to start like trying to figure out what I'm going to do here. So yeah. All right. Oh, this is a beautiful sight. Anyways, we got the front bumper on because I just can't stand this car with no front bumper. And like everything is like finally mounted properly. My ignition coils, like everything. This is gonna be a game changer. And I just felt the action, the ACT 6-puck clutch, just to feel it out. And like, I didn't bleed it because I just took the slave and the master in as one. Ignore the wiring mess, I'm gonna clean that. And geez, it feels, oh, see that? It feels great. Oh my God, I am so excited to drive this thing very soon. We just got to clean up some wiring stuff, which I might not film. I might film the engine harness part because I think that will be fun to show you guys. But the rest of the stuff I probably won't. I haven't tightened like down the engine mounts and stuff yet. Tightened the trans mounts, so that's all good. But you know, now I can really start mocking up stuff. This is great. And like the wire tuck actually paid off. It's gonna look so sick with the intake manifold on. But I'm blown out the fucking water. This is amazing. All right, I'm back. This came back, you won't see it, but from my local motorcycle shop, who Steve from Stone's Motorcycle in Northborough hooked it up, welded up the cavities on my intake manifold. Just got to get this decked and then port match it, and then we can put this in the car. So yeah, I'm pretty hyped. This is sick. All right. As I said, we got the intake all good. If you guys remember my buddy from college, Pat, he's gonna be decking this for me. No local machine shops either could do it, knew what decking was, which is shocking, which is a pretty simple process. But Pat has a Bridgeport, so he'll handle that. Maybe he might do the port matching, so yep. Every time I just keep looking at this thing, it's like sick. Oh, what a beauty. All right, I know I sound like I have straight AIDS, but I'm gonna try to work on my FC today. And maybe we'll get power to the chassis. I need to like make battery cables. And then, I don't know, just waiting on parts. So we're gonna do that. Yo, I forgot to turn the camera on, but I just went ham on this intercooler pipe thing. Like that. I don't have the upper intake, but I know it's gonna sit somewhere roughly around there. And then underneath, I just need a coupler. I'm gonna try to get like a really long 45. And then, yeah. So I'm gonna like try to route the battery cables, tuck it, make it look clean. But as you can see, like, this is how we clean a bay quite well up. So that's something else. That's something. Yo, I think the chassis has power. All right, watch. Everything's on. I don't know if you guys can hear it. Pop-ups are up. Hell yeah, let's go. So I ran a battery cable from the fuse block. It's kind of messy, but I'm gonna clean that up. All the way here to that little lug. Like when I pulled the dash out, I did that. I need to like heat up that heat shrink. Don't have an extension cable to get all the way here. But god damn, I'm going hard with this car. I'm going so hard with this car. I have the hardest FC in New England. All right, I'm kidding, but yo, I'm so hyped. Everything's coming together. Everything's coming together. I better not jinx myself because I could crank this motor and could have no compression for all I know. So I'm just gonna keep grinding away, trying to mock up more stuff, get this all done, and yeah. All right, just got home. If you guys remember today, I did a bunch of stuff in the car or whatever. Just got a package with a lot of stuff we're gonna need for this build, and we're gonna be doing this on Wednesday because I have work tomorrow and I'm not gonna take the time. But we got all the connectors, so let me show you guys what I got. If you guys want to follow similar to what I'm doing, we got EV14 injectors, so part number from Corsa Technic, and EV14 injectors for my ID 1050s. You need to be running 1300 or 1700s on the secondaries after break-in. Just a standard Delphi weather pack 3-pin connector for my GM 3-bar map sensor. Let's not worry about that. Over here we got a coolant temp sensor over here for the GM coolant temp sensor. And then over here we got the GM intake air temp sensor. And then I got a bunch of pins. These pins in particular are actually for a discontinued connector. So I'm actually gonna show you guys over here. So if you see the connector for where the wipers go, this one right here, it's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 14-way connector. This connector is discontinued. You can no longer get it, and it's hard to find. So what I'm doing is I'm keeping my OEM one, depinning it, running new wires, new pins, bam. So that's what that's for. So if you guys want to do the same thing, here's the part number. Bam. Why did it do that? Stupid camera. Crank angle sensor connector over here. This is for my FD IAC valve, so it's a two-pin connector. This one is for my EFR boost controller, so that's it over here. This one is another chassis connector. If you guys saw my video when I did Gabe's engine harness, this is responsible for like giving power to the ECU, injectors, and a couple other things off the chassis harness. So that's that over here. Part number is so. These are wiper connectors over here. I have 3 of them. I'm only gonna be using one for my build. The 2 are for friends of mine. I'm building some wiper harnesses. If you guys need wiper harnesses, hit me up. I build those for people, so that's that. This right over here. Jeez, my camera's just being tweaky. This is for the FD TPS. So that's the part number over here. Bam. And I have these 3-pin connectors, a male and a female, and I'm gonna be using this for 2-speed electric fan control. So 2 of the wires are gonna be, one wire is gonna be for low speed, one wire is gonna be for high speed. They're ground outputs from the ECU. And then the 3rd wire is gonna be a source 12 volts from the harness. So because I'm gonna have it on a separate relay. So those are those 2 connectors over here. And that's like everything we need to build my personal engine harness. Not gonna be doing that tonight. We need to do some measurements, and I'm gonna share the measurements with you guys if anyone wants to do the same thing, because I'm missing measurements for stuff. So that's gonna save a big headache for me, and I'll save a huge headache for a lot of people who wanna do the same thing. And then if you guys don't know, I also build engine harnesses, so if you're interested, let me know. Aside from that, repeat that FTP. I'm gonna be focusing on this. This is separate. This is for Declan's car. He's doing K-coils on his 240SX. I've been restoring his harness. I've been restoring his engine harness, so... there we go. Now it's not tweaking. I've been restoring his engine harness, so that's that. So, yeah. Alright, my bad. This video's all over the place. Last clip, I was talking about building the engine harness. and I haven't got to that yet, but as you can see, like I've been just wiring shit out the wazoo for a bunch of customers. Engine harnesses, wiper harnesses, K24 harnesses, patch adapters, the whole freaking waboo. And like, mind you, I work like pretty much a full-time job, so like I'm super swamped. But I'm gonna try to find time to work on my own car. It's like really, really hard because I just get freaking, I don't even get freaking tired. I don't freaking sleep. So I'm gonna start mocking up the harness in my car, maybe lay it out, build it, you know, the whole shabam, get it all out of the way, throw it in the car, figure out where I'm gonna mount everything, get a GM map sensor, got a special package coming from Bonsai, so my oil cooler lines, fuel pulsation dampener delete, and some other freaking thing. I don't know, I ordered like a bunch of stuff. Oh yeah, dual alternator pulley, because I also got a brand new AC Delco FD alternator. So that's all good. Pretty excited. I look like a freaking mess. It's terrible. Yeah, so let's like whip it up, do it. Because I also have work later today. I told you I freaking work every day, pretty much. It's never a day I haven't worked since I was like 16, so for all the people that think my mom and dad fund my car, but yeah, let's get her going. All right, are you filming?
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck? Anyways, harness, we're gonna build it. Link to LA, freaking loom, rad. So I'll show you how I'm like planning that. See, pop the hood. We got the bay. As I said, looks great. Intercooler piping looks great. So, yeah. I'm just gonna do like a little time lapse, maybe. Like laying out all this shit. Because it varies from car to car. But, I put tape over this stuff so like animals didn't get in my car. So, yeah, let me show you all something. Oh wait, actually I showed you guys that. Like my little battery lugs. So I'm gonna keep it all tucked. Try to make the harness as tucked as possible. And then she's ready to rip ski. All right, I had to go inside real quick because I didn't make a little sheet of how I wanted to do this. So at least I have everything: coolant temp, IAT, TPS, map sensor, oil pressure sensor, fuel pressure sensor, and the check marks are pre-assigned. Auxiliary 1 back valve for idle control, auxiliary 2 boost controller, auxiliary 3 fuel pump control, auxiliary 4 coolant temp to the cluster. So instead of using that crappy single pin, I'm actually gonna have the ECU display it on the cluster, the OEM cluster, because it's gonna be more accurate. Auxiliary 5 electric fan control, auxiliary 6 tachometer output, digital 1 through 4 isn't used, CAN low and high are going to be used for the CAN lambda. Bam. All right, well, now let's get back to this. All right, we have wires on the floor, wires in the car. So I have a rough idea where I want everything. So sitting here, bam. And then over here, the CAN lambda and the fan control is going to be there. And then I just cut everything the length the way I want it. Luckily, since I make harnesses, I have ignition sub harnesses in stock for LS coils on an FC. And then also, we got to figure out, you know, our wipers. So since I pre-terminate them before I send them out to customers, we're going to do that. So yeah. All right, plugged in the ignition sub harness. Ignore these stupid boots. I use really thick wire, so they're like that. But yeah, the ignition sub harness is all plugged in, tucked away behind the brake booster like so. And then all you have to do is just literally plug in power, which is on this side, and then ground onto the engine block, and this is the sub harness connector right here. So yeah, that's good. All right, pretty much got all the links together. I'll share the links with you guys too, by the way. Just so you know, like certain stuff might be different because I have an FD intake, like the back valve wire might be longer, but should give people a rough idea. So I have it, and the way I go about making a harness is, yeah, I lay it out in the car roughly where I want it to be. So I have my wipers, my wipers, can lambda for my lambda. What's this again? Fan control, because I have a rough idea of where I want it to be in the car. So I planned out the car first, and then as you can see, there's like this just one bundle. And the nice thing about wiring a rotary is you don't have to do like complex like branches and stuff. You just have one big branch of literally everything, like the important stuff on the engine harness, like your crank angle sensor and stuff like that. So that's pretty cool. Have that all done. Gonna tuck this away and then get that all done. And then we have our ignition sub harness in the car, so that's good. And yeah, exciting stuff. So, well, if you guys want to see what I have here again, that's it. And yeah. All right, ignore the messy carpet. Went inside, and then what I typically do is I start all the way from the end, start running the thinnest, the loom around. And then as you can see, I already have the heat shrink applied. So I can get all these leads here. So for example, ignition sub harness, ground, crank angle sensor, TPS, like all these things. And then I figure out too, like I'll leave it open, right? So I needed to add 2 signal grounds. So I added 2 signal grounds, right? So I can handle it in between this section of the harness. And then I gotta add 4 powers for the injectors. And then I know I gotta add 1 power for the fan control, or no, the boost control, and then the back valve. So I gotta do that. I know I gotta add 12 volts there too for the 12 volt and ground for the can lambda. So, like just planning it once you have that done to get a final picture. So yeah. All right, I'm only like 2 hours deep. So far, looking so far so good. All our branches are all good here. Still need to just run now the power to the injectors. So these are signal grounds, the green ones, then power 5 volts, and then 12 volts. So these will be either tapped in between somewhere through the harness, or wire will be ran all the way there. Well, I realized I forgot a connector. The alternator connector. So thank God I didn't like loom it up. So gonna have to order that before I wrap this all up. So yeah, maybe next clip this will be in the car because I'm not gonna film any of that. So good morning. Yesterday I got back home from work pretty late, so I didn't touch the car. But I got this package from Bonsai, which is these oil cooler lines. Oil cooler lines. The fittings and adapters. Bonsai FD pulley. And then this is for deleting the fuel pulsation dampener on my fuel rail. So I'm gonna just go throw these in the car. Might not film it. Might give a tip or two, and yeah, that's really it. So one more piece of the puzzle to get this car going. All right, pull the fan shroud out and then install the fittings. Looks good. Need to do the ones on the oil cooler. As you can see, they're just dangling. So I want to share this tip of advice. So if anyone remembers, there was an incident where I had belt issues in my alternator. Like the belt snapped and my car was overheating and wasn't charging. It's a whole video. It's on my channel. So whenever you need to get a silver chrome socket like this. It's a 15 and 16th inch socket. That way it will fit in here, because if you get like one of the what's the material called? Let me show you guys. You get a socket that's made of this material, the walls are too thick. I don't know if you guys can see, but the walls are really thick. So you make sure you get a chrome socket, keep it with you at all times in case something happens and you have to replace the alternator of the track. So you can swap your pulleys around. But yeah, that's my tip of advice of how to get this pulley off. And then I just need to tighten this here, so the fuel pulsation dampener, there's 2 different size washers, so keep that in mind so it sits flush. And then install the lines in the oil cooler. So yeah, the top line on the oil cooler goes to the front cover, and then the one on the side, if you guys can see, the one on the side goes to the rear iron. So yeah, there you guys go. Imagine this car with E-fans. Maybe it might look better, but I don't know about that. All right, oil cooler lines have been installed. My only complaint with this Bonsai oil cooler kit, look at that line going to the rear iron. It's a tad bit too long. I don't want to cut it or modify it, since I did buy it from a third party, so maybe they can send me a new one, maybe. Yeah, that's too long. I don't like that, but aside from that, dual alternator pulleys there, got the belt there. Need to go get a bolt and a nut so I could throw that on and tighten that. And yeah, at least that's done. I'm gonna try to fix that oil return situation. And then yeah, all right, everything's all good there. I guess I don't really have anything else to do. I guess I should get plug wires, finish up the engine harness. All that's really left is the lower intake manifold. Put the primary rail on and you go pick up the injectors, but just like, yeah, it's like done-ish. There's nothing else to do right now, so whatever. All right, I have, all right, I have pinned everything I possibly can. All the connectors, like oil, fuel, I don't have. The alternator, I still need to order, if you guys remember. Cam lambda, all good to go, as you can see. And then the diagram for that came with a nice little instruction manual, so super cool. Fans, I was gonna go 2-speed, but I'm gonna go 1-speed anyways, so I need to order a 2-speed connector. So I'll order that, and then all I gotta do is wire up the chassis connectors. So yeah, looking good. What is up, guys? It's May 30th. It's pretty bright out. As you can see, my face is more defined, I guess, and that means I'm also growing facial hair, which I don't really like. If anyone knows me, I hate the idea of growing facial hair. For me personally, don't want it, don't care for it. But have the day off, and I just want to literally crank out every little thing I can on the FC. We're gonna go to Brendan's, we're gonna get the injectors in the car, we're going to get the IAC in the car, or no, we're gonna get the injectors in the car and all that squared away, and then get an IAC, get my laptop back, my laptop I use for tuning because I left it at Brendan's. Finish every little bit of wiring left on the car today. So as you guys saw in the previous clip, I pretty much have completed the engine harness. I just don't have the pressure sensors, but I don't need them right away. I'll just wait till next paycheck to buy those, because each pressure sensor I think is like 130 bucks, and I really am trying to be a little more conservative with how I'm spending my money overall, because why not? I don't need to blow all my money on my car. But the FC is gonna have to be my daily very soon, because I'm going to have no car for a little bit besides the FC. So we're gonna hook the starter up, we're gonna hook everything up. I'm actually going to tap, retap one of the threads on the trans so I can actually have my starter held together by 2 bolts this time. That's been a problem. Get oil, get an oil filter, top it off, all the little things. So we're gonna crank out the FC, get it right, figure out what else we need to order. And I think it's Monday, May 30th, Memorial's Day, I think. And I think that the car should be running this week if the engine's good. I don't know why I'm doubtful about that still, but I won't believe it till it happens. So let's do whatever. I don't know what we're gonna do next, but let's get this car going and just crank it up.
What's up?
Yeah, you need to chill with the blade. Why are you hurting yourself? What happened to your arm? What happened?
Alright.
Alright, well, Brendan just, we made an exchange, got spark, plug wires, spark plugs, injectors, my laptop back, some AN fitting and lines, FDIAC and speedo cable for $240. It's Brendan's car. Oh, Brendan, show people your car. Pop the hood. Show them the 13B. It's a pretty big 13B.
Yeah. Nice.
Brief the setup.
550cc injectors, S15 motor, S15 turbo.
Like eBay part.
R8 coils.
FCP lifetime warranty.
Link Monsoon G4X. God's ECU. Wait, you can't see it. Yeah, the Link. Full interior. Start it. We got Travis R32 over here, looking pretty clean. We got his other R32, Broden's truck. Pretty rad. All right, just got back home, just throwing stuff in. If you guys are curious what plug wires these are, they're 1997 Suburban plug wires. So Duralast. Part number 4633 will get you what you want. Comes with a pack of 8. It's obviously for a V8, but works if you use LS coils. Just need to clean up the wires, make it look tidy. But yeah, those are all in there. So, ignition system's wired up. And then I got spare spark plugs, so that's pretty cool. Brand new spark plugs. And got my IAC, my injectors, this sick thing, HKS oil cap, that's rad. And speedo cable. Yeah, I really can't do anything until I get the intake manifold, now that I think about it. So yeah, I guess that's all for today, guys. I'm gonna go over to my boy's house, help him get his car together, tune it and all of that. So progress, freaking progress.